wants a mythological love story? Because I know I do. A little known fact about me is that I used to be a bit of an opera singer, and the first operatic song or aria that I ever learnt comes from an opera that talks about this mythological story. So here we've got the man called Orpheus. Orpheus's father was Apollo, and he gifted him this magical lyre, and Orpheus was the most skilled musician in the ancient Greek world. He joined Jason on his Argonaut journey, and his music helped him and all of his friends avoid getting captured by sirens. So Orpheus was married to his beautiful wife Eurydice. There are two versions about what happens to Eurydice. In the first one, a man is just so beguiled by her beauty that he starts chasing her and she starts running away. Or she is dancing with nymphs and having a great old time when she gets bitten on the foot by a snake or stung by a bee. Either way, Eurydice dies immediately. Devastated, Orpheus decides that he's going to go to the underworld and try and convince Hades and Persephone to give him his wife back. That's right, it's time for another catabasis. A heroic journey of a mortal person going into the underworld. Orpheus uses his musical lyre and abilities to charm Cerberus, the three-headed dog. Once he gets through the underworld and he makes his way over to Hades and Persephone, he plays his beautiful lyre to them, and they are also charmed by his musical abilities. Hades and Persephone agree that he can take his wife back to the mortal realm under one condition. He must lead her back through the underworld with her walking behind him, but he is not allowed to look back at her at any point when they're exiting the underworld. Orpheus is like, wow, yeah, too easy, this will be great. So Orpheus starts leading Eurydice through the underworld. I imagine it's a pretty long journey. Eurydice is like kind of a half a ghost still at this point. So unfortunately, Orpheus can't hear her footsteps, and he starts to doubt if she's really behind him and wonders if the gods have been playing a trick on him. I'm sure you all saw this coming, but Orpheus looks back at Eurydice and she gets sucked back down into the underworld. That was the one rule, he was not allowed to look back at her during their journey out of the underworld. So yeah, she gets sucked back in. Orpheus is, of course, so devastated. That was his one chance. He's not allowed to go back into the underworld a second time while he's alive. So Orpheus spends the rest of his days just waiting for death. Do you remember when we talked about Maenads from the Theban mythology? Well, at some point while a bunch of Maenads are having a crazy intoxicated frenzy, bacchanalia thing, they find Orpheus and they dismember him. They tear him limb from limb. Except his head stayed intact, and apparently his head bobbed down the river, still singing. Very sad.